All right, welcome back everyone to the Office 365 Tips and Tricks webinar for the month of May, brought to you by the Marks Group. Today we're going to be talking about the following three topics. Sorry guys, I'm just entering my email in here in case anyone has any questions. Okay, so our first tip today is going to be about the Office 365 Message Center in the admin section, in the admin portal. So we're going to go ahead and go into the admin portal, then look at the Message Center and see all the different kinds of messages they sent you. I think this is a commonly overlooked feature in the admin center, but is actually really handy and useful to keep an eye on upcoming features, features that are being deprecated, etc. We're also going to talk about Microsoft To Do and just give a quick little intro and demo to that. Microsoft To Do is Microsoft's kind of task management application. There is a mobile app associated with it, and it ties into like your Outlook calendar and tasks and things like that. So we'll talk about the Microsoft To Do. And then finally, we're going to talk about pinning apps to the app launcher. So this is the app launcher. And if you didn't have To Do pinned there and you wanted to, or something was missing from here and you want to add it, we'll walk through how to do that as well. All right, so let's get going with our first tip, which is the Message Center in the Admin Center. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just at portal.office.com, and then we're going to click on Admin. If you don't see the Admin tile here, you can go in here and find it and go under All Apps and find it. And if you don't see it, then you probably don't have access to it. So you'll have to talk to an administrator. Okay, so we've got our Admin Center here, and Message Center can be found on this screen. So we're going to go to Message Center. Like I said, this is often overlooked, but if you go into your Message Center, you're going to see kind of a shelf of major updates. Office has been super slow for me today. I'm going to take another refresh. There we go. Naturally, when I click refresh. All right, so we're going to let this load. Okay, I'm going to wait for this to load in a second, but you'll see we've got this shelf of major updates. So the biggest updates are going to be featured up here, and you can click on it and it'll open up more information on the right. And when you open up any of these messages, it'll have a pretty extensive overview of the issue or the feature or the notice. We've got all these options up here. You can mark it as unread. I'm going to exit out of this. And once we've read this, you'll see that it is no longer bold, but it still remains up here. So the different kinds of messages, we've got plans for change, stay informed, which are kind of updated features or new features, prevent or fix issues, that one's pretty obvious, and then dismissed messages. So stay informed, you see that category, these are all minor service update, new feature, updated feature, etc. Stay informed with a workaround. So there are some pretty handy, prevent and fix issues, especially when there are bugs involved. So there is quite a bit of information on this page, and I know that because they're just messages from Microsoft, they're easily overlooked, but I definitely recommend just popping in here occasionally and keeping an eye on upcoming updates, upcoming new features, updated features, and then they even have plans for deprecation. If there are any deprecated features upcoming, they'll send messages about that as well. All right, so that's the message center. Really handy, again, accessible from the admin center in the Office 365 portal. So we're going to talk about the Microsoft Task Manager or Microsoft To Do next, because I want to segue into pinning an app into your app launcher last. So we're going to talk about Microsoft To Do. If you don't see it in the Your Apps section here, you should be able to click this little grid, and then the apps that are pinned to your app launcher should show up here. If we go to all apps, we'll see a bigger list here, and then you can search for them easily as well. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to open Microsoft To Do for us. So it's a really simple interface, actually. We can minimize or maximize the menu on the left with this little 3 bars. We can search for tasks here. We can go to My Day, where you can kind of pin tasks to a certain day, to your day. We can hide completed tasks there. So you can star tasks to make sure they're important or noted as important. We have planned tasks and then just all tasks. Or I guess tasks, yeah, this is a separate item here, but then we can also create lists. So I've got my tips and tricks list and the marks group list. If you're a consultant, you could have every client is a different list, something like that. When you create a task or an item in the to-do list, you can just add a task here, June blogs. You can right-click and add it to My Day, mark as completed, mark as important, due today, due tomorrow. If you don't see if it's due in a month or something, we can actually just select anywhere in here to kind of open up this little sidebar with more details for that task. You can set up a reminder, multiple reminders even. We can add the due date. So I want to say that this will be due June 24th. We can set it to repeat. You can add files, take notes, and you can even add sub-steps. So June blogs, Office 365 blogs, and Dynamics 365 blogs. So I've got now some sub-steps to this task. And here we can see we've completed 0 of 2 of the kind of subtasks. We've added the May webinars to My Day. I'm going to add the May blogs to My Day as well. So when I go back here, we're going to see this is due today. And we've added both of these. You can add tasks on the fly as well, just by selecting Add a Task. And we can make these favorites just by clicking the star or mark them as important, and there they are. We can also click the gear icon here to access to-do settings. So if we do that, we can import tasks from Wunderlist, and then we've got these other options as well. If you flag email or use tasks in the planner, you can also set up connections here to create tasks from messages you flagged and add tasks from the planner. So this is a pretty straightforward and simple application, and I like it a lot so far. And I'm actually going to, this isn't the account that I normally use to track my clients and stuff, but I have been using this, and I really like it. So I like the fact that you can track subtasks. That's something that I always look for, and I always look for the ability to create lists for different clients. So I'm a big fan of this. And there are also applications for your mobile device, Android and Apple. All right, so if we go back to the Office 365 homepage, now it takes a couple minutes to sync up here. I was trying to remove this tile so I could show you how easy it is to add it, but we can click all apps here, and any application that you see here that you want to add to this landing page or this launch section, you can select this ... and pin to launcher here. So likewise, if I want to add Delve, we can click the ... and select pin to launcher. We'll see this as an option here. And if we refresh the page, hopefully the change will be, yeah, for some reason this is taking a couple minutes for me to update, but in a couple minutes that tile that for Delve will show up here, and it will be added to the app launcher. And we can see that it will, just because if we click here, this is a reflection of the app launcher and we see this Delve option here. Just takes a few minutes to sync. Might even take a log out and log back in. But just to summarize what we talked about today, so we reviewed the Message Center, which is in the Office 365 Admin Center, and it helps provide details for upcoming, system updates, updated and upcoming features, issues or plans for changes, deprecated features. All of the notifications for that can be found in here. The Microsoft To Do application is really straightforward and simple. I suggest checking it out. It's really easy to use and straightforward. You can sync up with Wunderlist or import tasks from Wunderlist. You can sync up with Planner and Outlook as well, so any flagged messages become tasks in here. You can have subtasks, set reminders, set due dates, take notes, and attach files. And then it's easy to add apps to the app launcher, although it does take a few minutes to reflect in the actual app launcher. It's easy to do this just by going to this little grid in the upper left corner, going to all apps, and then whatever app you want to add. And then we select the ... next to the name, and we can pin it to the launcher. You'll know it worked if you see the new application that you've added to the app launcher in this section. This is a reflection of this over here, and it does just take a few more minutes for it to update on this side of things. All right, so I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions on these topics, please feel free to leave a comment on my blog posts for this month, or you can always email me at megan@marksgroup.net with screenshots or questions or what have you. So thank you so much for joining. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys next time.